Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel video. In this channel you'll learn English story. If you watch the video, please subscribe, like and share my YouTube channel video. Story. The moment I understood my father's pain. I still remember that day clearly, not because anything extraordinary happened around us, but because something extraordinary happened inside me. It was the day I truly saw my father, not just as the strong man who provided for our family, not as the quiet figure who carried responsibility on his shoulders, but as a human being who had endured a lifetime of silent pain for the sake of those he loved. My father had always been a man of few words. He spoke when necessary, worked without complaint, and smiled even when life weighed heavily on him. As a child, I thought this was simply how fathers were meant to be, strong, unshaken, and endlessly capable. I never questioned how much effort it took for him to remain that way, nor did I imagine the sacrifices hidden behind his calm face. We lived a simple life. Our home was small, our comforts modest, but our needs were always met. My father woke before sunrise every morning, often leaving the house while the world was still wrapped in darkness. I would hear the soft sound of the door closing and drift back to sleep, unaware that he was stepping into another long day of labor. By the time I woke up, he was already far away, working to ensure that my siblings and I would have food on the table and clothes to wear. When he returned in the evening, his clothes smelled of dust and sweat. His hands were rough, marked with calluses and scars earned through years of hard work. Yet, when he sat with us, he never showed exhaustion. He would ask about our day, listen patiently, and sometimes smile gently as if nothing in the world mattered more than those moments. As I grew older, I began to notice small things, details that had escaped me before. The way he sometimes rubbed his hands slowly, as if soothing an ache that never truly left. The way he sighed quietly when he thought no one was watching. The way his shoulders drooped slightly when he sat down after a long day. Still, I did not understand. I was young, and youth often blinds us to the struggles of those who stand silently beside us. The moment that changed everything came unexpectedly. It was an ordinary evening, quiet and still. My father was sitting on a chair near the window, the fading light casting soft shadows across his face. I was nearby, absorbed in my own thoughts, when I noticed his hands trembling slightly. At first, I thought it was nothing, perhaps just fatigue. But then I saw his eyes. They were not angry or tired, they were heavy with emotion, filled with something deeper than exhaustion. I watched as he closed his eyes, his face tightening for a brief moment as if he were holding back something he had carried for years. A tear slipped down his cheek. It was a sight I had never seen before. My father, the man I believed to be unbreakable, was crying silently. In that moment, my heart tightened. I realized how little I truly knew about him. I saw not just a father, but a man who had borne countless struggles without ever asking for sympathy. His tears spoke of long days, unfulfilled dreams, and sacrifices made quietly so that his children could have a better future. I moved closer to him without thinking. When he opened his eyes, he looked surprised, perhaps even embarrassed. I reached out and gently touched his face, wiping away the tear that had fallen. He looked at me then, and in his eyes, I saw a mixture of love, pride, and pain. He did not explain himself. He did not need to. In that single moment, I understood more than words could ever convey. I understood that his strength was not the absence of pain, but the ability to carry it without complaint. I understood that every sacrifice he made was an act of love, even when it cost him deeply. That night, memories began to surface in my mind, times when I had complained about small inconveniences, moments when I had taken his efforts for granted. I remembered asking for things without considering the effort required to provide them. I remembered being impatient when he was too tired to listen. Each memory felt heavier now, weighed down by the understanding I had gained. From that day forward, my perspective changed. I began to see my father's actions differently. His silence was no longer distance, it was endurance. His tired eyes were not signs of weakness, but evidence of perseverance. His quiet presence was a constant reminder of responsibility carried with dignity. I started spending more time with him, not because he asked for it, but because I wanted to. Sometimes we would sit together without speaking, sharing the comfort of each other's presence. Other times, I would ask him about his life, his childhood, his dreams, the choices he had made. He spoke slowly, choosing his words carefully, revealing fragments of a life shaped by duty and resilience. I learned that he had once had dreams of his own, dreams set aside so that his children could pursue theirs. I learned that he had faced failures and disappointments, yet never allowed them to define him. Through it all, he had remained committed to his role as a father, believing that his sacrifices were worthwhile if they led to our happiness. The bond between us grew stronger, rooted in understanding and respect. I became more mindful of my actions, more grateful for the things I once considered ordinary. I learned to value effort, patience, and responsibility, not as burdens, but as expressions of love. As years passed, that moment remained etched in my heart. It became a quiet guide, shaping the way I viewed relationships and responsibility. Whenever life felt overwhelming, I thought of my father's silent strength and found the courage to move forward. Today, when I look at him, I no longer see just the man who raised me. I see a lifetime of dedication, resilience, and love. I see the sacrifices he made without expecting recognition. I see the pain he endured so that I could walk a lighter path. Understanding my father's pain did not make me sad, it made me grateful. It taught me that love is often expressed not through grand gestures, but through quiet perseverance. It taught me that strength is not measured by how much one can endure alone, but by how much one is willing to give for others. That moment changed me forever. It taught me to look beyond appearances, to listen with my heart, and to honor the sacrifices of those who love us silently. And for that lesson, I will always be thankful to my father, the man whose pain became my greatest teacher.